$1,000 more every month just to stay in place. 3 years ago, your paycheck could buy a lot more life than it can today. Now, the average American household needs about $1,000 more every single month just to maintain the same standard of living. Same life, same family, same habits. I'm Ben Matthews. This is Debt Sucks. And if you've said out loud recently, I don't understand how anyone is keeping up right now, that number is exactly why. You're not crazy. You're not undisciplined. You're not failing at personal math. You're doing 2021 math in a 2026 economy, and the math doesn't work anymore. Here's the problem with that, though. Most financial advice hasn't caught up. It still sounds like this: just budget better, cut back on lattes, be more disciplined. And I'm not going to tell you those things don't matter. They do. But they are not built for what you're dealing with right now. Because this isn't a money problem. This is a pressure problem. And if you try to solve a pressure problem with only money tactics, you're going to burn out before you break through. Look, life got more expensive while nobody was looking. Not in one giant movie scene disaster. Not with a dramatic music playing in the background while Jerome Powell kicked down your front door. Just slowly, quietly, relentlessly. The game changed. And most people didn't notice it at first because the changes were small enough to ignore individually. Eggs got weird, insurance got disrespectful, fast food started acting like it had Michelin stars. And suddenly a quick target run requires the same financial preparation as a minor military operation. You walk in for toothpaste and paper towels and somehow you leave wondering if you accidentally financed a jet ski. Because everything got tighter. Your margin, the space between what you make and what life costs, shrank. And when margin shrinks, stress rises. Because now one unexpected car repair feels like a personal attack. A sick kid means your entire week collapses financially. A trip to Costco feels less like shopping and more like entering a televised endurance competition. And every subscription in your life suddenly starts acting like the tiny organized crime syndicate. Oh, you want to cancel? Interesting. First solve these 7 riddles. And the dangerous part is this. Most people keep trying to live like the old numbers work, but they don't. The math changed. A few years ago, you could absorb a dumb decision a little easier. You could recover faster. You could float something for a month, maybe even 2. But now, one bad month turns into credit cards, payment stacking, moving balances around, we'll figure it out later, and eventually that terrifying moment where you stop checking the bank app before buying groceries because you just emotionally cannot handle another surprise. And meanwhile, life, the undefeated heavyweight champion of chaos, still happens. Cars break. Kids need stuff the night before school. The dog suddenly needs a surgery that costs the same as a lightly used Honda Civic. Your AC unit waits until the hottest day of the year to die out of pure spite. And every adult listening knows this feeling. You're not living recklessly. You're not buying yachts. You're not licensing cars with $100 bills. You're just trying to exist. And somehow existing got expensive. Here's how most people respond. They try to squeeze harder, cut more, push more, stretch more, and that works for a little while. But eventually, you run out of room. You can't cut forever. You can't optimize forever. You can't out-discipline a system that keeps tightening. This is where the True Wealth Playbook comes in. Because this isn't about getting ahead fast. This is about staying stable in a harder environment. And the playbook gives you 5 non-negotiables: money control wealth, energy wealth, time and calendar wealth, relationship wealth, quiet confidence. And today we're going to use all 5 to build a plan that actually works in real life. Money control wealth. Step 1. We start here. Always. Because if you don't have control, nothing else sticks. Not the budget, not the side hustle, not the debt payoff plan, not the new me starts Monday speech you give yourself after panic buying groceries and a rotisserie chicken at Costco. This is the foundation. This is where you do the brutally honest money breakdown and the rock pile. And both of these forms are available at debtsucks.info, and they're free. So you do these not casually, but honestly. Like, no, I probably should include the 5 streaming subscriptions I forgot I had. Like, yes, apparently DoorDash has quietly become a part-time dependent on my tax return. Like, wow, my truck payment really is out here fighting my future 1 month at a time. Because inflation does something sneaky. It rarely punches you in the face all at once. It hides in small increases. $20 here, $50 more there. Your electric bill suddenly behaving like it's powering a small casino. Your insurance premium rising like your driving is a competitive demolition derby. Your grocery bill turning eggs into luxury commodities. And suddenly you're $500 to $800 tighter every month. And you don't fully see it because it happened slowly. See, that's the dangerous part. Most people feel the pressure long before they understand the numbers. So step one is this: see it fully, because you cannot fix financial chaos you refuse to measure. And the truth is, most people aren't bad with money. They're trying to operate with invisible leaks everywhere while pretending everything is fine, because adulthood apparently comes with this weird rule that we're all supposed to silently drown with dignity. When you map everything out, you go from "I feel squeezed" to "here's exactly where the pressure is coming from." And that matters because vague stress leads to bad decisions. Clear stress leads to targeted action. Now let's talk about something most financial advice completely ignores: your energy. See, inflation just doesn't cost money. It drains you because now everything requires more thinking, more decisions, more trade-offs. And when you're exhausted, you stop making intentional choices. You go into survival mode. So part of your plan has to be protect your energy. Use what you discover when you do the brutally honest money breakdown so that you can simplify decisions, reduce unnecessary spending situations, and avoid constant financial stress triggers. Because if your plan exhausts you, you won't follow it. Now let's connect this to something we talked about before: your time. When costs go up, people often respond by working more hours, more side work, more hustle. And sometimes that's necessary. But here's the risk: you solve the money problem by destroying your time. So the question becomes, is this improving my life or just helping me survive it? Because if your entire life becomes work, pay bills, recover, repeat, that's not wealth. That's maintenance. Now, this is where inflation quietly does real damage, because money stress leaks into relationships. It shows up as short tempers, avoidance, arguments, silence, and if you don't address it, it compounds. So part of your plan has to include honest conversations, not perfect ones, not scripted ones, not the fake "everything's fine" conversation couples have while both silently panic scrolling the banking app in separate rooms. Honest ones. And one of the best ways to start that conversation is by sitting down together and doing the brutally honest money breakdown. Together. Not as a blame session, not as a financial court, not as, well, if somebody hadn't bought the 17-foot Halloween skeleton. No, as a reality session. Because most couples are carrying financial stress separately while assuming the other person fully understands what's happening. Usually they don't. One person is terrified about the credit cards, the other is panicking about the mortgage, both are stressed about groceries, and neither wants to say it out loud because they don't want to become the stressful one. So instead, everyone walks around acting emotionally normal while internally sounding like a smoke detector with a dying battery. The brutally honest money breakdown forces the numbers into the open. What's coming in, what's going out, what's tightening, what's unsustainable, what's quietly draining the life out of your monthly margin. And something powerful happens when you look at it together, because the problem stops being you versus me and starts becoming us versus the problem. And that shift matters a lot, because hidden stress becomes resentment, silence becomes distance, and financial fear loves darkness. But shared stress is easier to carry than hidden stress, especially when both people finally stop pretending and start building a plan together. Quiet confidence. Now this is the final piece, and it's the one that holds everything together. Quiet confidence is the belief that I can handle this. Not perfectly, not instantly, but consistently. Because in a tighter economy, you will face more decisions, more trade-offs, more pressure, and without confidence, every decision feels heavier. So let's put this all together. Here's your plan. Step 1, see everything. The brutally honest money breakdown and your rock pile. Step 2, stabilize. Build or rebuild your shit happens fund. 3, prioritize. Focus on the biggest pressure points. 4, create margin where you can. Reduce, renegotiate, or restructure. 5, protect your energy and time. Don't solve money by destroying yourself. Let me be clear about something. The goal right now is not perfection. It's not optimization. It's not getting ahead quickly. The goal is stability, because stability is what allows everything else to grow later. So instead of thinking I'm falling behind, try this. I'm adjusting to a harder environment, because that's what you're doing. And that requires strategy, not shame. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Inflation didn't just raise prices. It raised the difficulty level of your life. And the answer isn't to push harder blindly. It's to get more intentional, more aware, more strategic. Because true wealth isn't built in easy environments. It's built in hard ones by people who understand. Control comes first. If this episode hit somewhere real for you, do me a favor. Follow the podcast, leave a review, share this episode with someone who's carrying this pressure silently right now. Because there are a lot of good people walking around thinking, I must be terrible with money, when really they're trying to survive in a game that got harder, more expensive, and more mentally exhausting. Hey, let's get real for a sec. The Debt Sucks plan, it's awesome. It works. But not everyone has the time or the patience to chip away at their financial Mount Everest. Maybe you're drowning right now, like creditors calling your grandma, paycheck gone before it lands, sleepless nights count of drowning. Sound familiar? Listen, you don't have to white knuckle your way through this alone. Instead of spending years battling debt $1 at a time, I've got you. Bankruptcy isn't a failure, it's a fresh start. And sometimes hitting reset is the smartest thing you can do. At my law firm here in South Carolina, we take the time to listen to your story and help you figure out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you. No pressure, no judgment, just straight answers and real solutions. And if you don't live in South Carolina, don't worry. I can connect you with a trusted attorney in your state. Wherever you are, help is closer than you think. So if you're ready to stop the stress and start fresh, visit debtsucks.info to share a little about your situation or call my office for a free consultation. Let's find your path forward together, because sometimes you don't need a plan, you need a damn lifeline. Let me be that lifeline. But here's my challenge for you this week. Go to debtsucks.info, download the Brutally Honest Money Breakdown, and actually do it. Not halfway, not I'll estimate it, not I already kind of know. No, really do it. Do it with your partner. Sit down, pull up the statements, look at the subscriptions, look at the debt, look at the leaks, look at the stress points. Because for a lot of people, this is the moment everything changes. Not because it magically fixes the numbers overnight, but because for the first time in a long time, the chaos finally has a name. And if you do it, I want you to post about it. Seriously. Tell people what changed. Tell people what shocked you. Tell people what you finally saw clearly. Because one honest post from a normal person saying, wow, I didn't realize where our money was actually going, might help somebody else stop feeling ashamed and finally start facing this stuff too. And that matters a lot. Because financial stress grows in silence. And one of the most powerful things you can do is normalize honest conversations about money. Next week, hey, we're getting back into something practical. And just uncomfortable enough that some of you are going to pause the episode halfway through and stare at the dashboard in silence. So naturally, it's going to be useful. Until then, adulting is hard. Debt makes it harder. But a little clarity and the right plan, that makes it manageable. See you next week.